Hello and welcome back to the Arty Mummy 365 day challenge. It is about 2 AM and I'm finally getting a chance to sit down to this. Now I did consider using a pen or some such thing, but seeing as I set myself the challenge to use this book to learn watercolour, which is a new medium to me, sort of, I am going to be using my little number 3 round brush, and we're going to fill the squares with different marks. You could try dashes, lines, spots, swirls and crosshatches. So let's see how we go. Let's try. One thing I like about using the watercolours to do these little prompts is that I'm always ending up with something lovely and colourful. So what shall we do? Maybe some lines. And again, this is all really good practice for brush control. So when you apply this practice to an actual artwork, finished painting, all of this practice is what comes into play to help you to have the skills to do any kind of painting, because you've already learned how to mix your colours and how to get a fine line or a even blend or whatever kind of mark it is you're trying to make. I'm just trying to get, again, about brush control, I'm just trying to get exactly along the edge of the other one, and maybe it's because I'm a little bit tired, but I'm kind of succeeding at that. Not as much as I'd like to. So I think I'll leave that one at that. Let's have a different colour. Maybe some dotty dots. Orange. Maybe a crosshatch. Oops. It's funny, one of my favourite little sayings when I'm teaching art is that there's no such thing as a mistake. Nothing can't be fixed. But with watercolours, sometimes that's not the case. I have found. It's probably one of the reasons I kind of steered away from them in the past. They just make me nervous. I don't like making mistakes I can't fix. We've got some nice orange bricks happening now. There we go, that was a mistake and it was definitely fixable. Lovely. Maybe some light blue. Just move my water so that I don't have to put my arm in front of the camera anymore. Actually, this kind of reminds me what I was doing about this time last year, which was that I had left buying the children's school books till late and there was no more pretty book covers left. I ended up with this awful yellow contact that none of them liked. So a couple of nights before school started, I sat up and did patterns with a black permanent marker all over these yellow covered school books. And the kids were all really proud of them because they had something that none of the other kids had. although it was a time-consuming exercise though. But I really enjoyed putting all the different patterns on those books. I got all creative and did what are they called, where you make it look like they're going to fall in, or optical illusions. I did some optical illusion stuff on there too. Well, I don't think that one looks particularly pretty, but they can't all be wonderful. I've got some spirals. So having control with a very fine line like this would help you a lot if you wanted to do, say, portraits. You want to be getting those eyebrows and eyelashes in. You want to be able to get those really fine marks if you want to. And the more you practice, the easier it gets. I love portraiture. I'm going to have to do a little bit more of it, but I find that my portraits take a little bit more time, and I want to keep these tutorials down to a manageable amount of time for other busy mums and dads and people who want to improve their art. Just a tiny touch. So I have my full-length tutorials that I'm working on putting out at least once a week, as well as these little daily practices. So the tutorials I aim at keeping at an hour and a half or less. Honestly, when I take portrait commissions or murals and things like that, it can take me 3 months. So for me, a painting I can complete in one day is a short painting. Although I might only be working on those long ones for 2 to 3 hours a day. There's still quite a lot of hours in them by the time they're done. But they are worth it. I will at some stage do a bit of a montage for you guys of some of my past work and things that have influenced me and stuff like that. So again, I'm just challenging myself to the fine brush control. Try and get even lines. And don't worry if they don't all turn out how you want them to. And you don't have to do it how I'm doing it either. You can use whatever colours or patterns or shapes you might want to. That's interesting. That's another thing for blue and pink today, maybe. Okay, just going to move down a little bit. maybe go back for some more green. I really like this phthalo green. I don't get to use it very much because phthalo green, unless you mix it with something. Oh, I've just done a splodge. What am I going to do with that? Now let's have a look at maybe a wash, just because I love this colour. Okay, so now that's wet. Pick up some more paint and blend it out. And one more time, I think, before I end up upsetting this paper too much. That's the other thing too, even if you have got high quality watercolour paper, you still don't want to be scrubbing at it too much wet on wet. You want to get those layers down in as nice and even a way as you can, so that you don't end up scruffing your paper up. A little bit of hatching there, trying to keep it a bit uneven. It can be a challenge sometimes to do more organic marks. Our brains like to try and keep things ordered oftentimes. Now I can tend to be a bit of a perfectionist and like things in rows, and you have to actually think about making things not that way, especially when you're painting nature. Okay, what next? Starting to run out of ideas. I know, let's go. Always remember to make sure that you've got enough paint on your brush, even doing fine work, or even especially doing fine work like this. You don't want to be having to go back over your lines because you didn't have enough paint on your brush. My goodness, the kookaburras are out. And the flying foxes having a fight in the tree again. So I'm just attempting to lift off a little bit to make a gradient, because I ended up with a bit too much on there. So I want it blending out to lighter on this side. So I'm just sort of lifting off and pushing back that paint. Doesn't work all that well on this paper, and if I keep up with it I'm likely to damage the paper again. So because the pink, same colour pink wasn't showing up on there, I've just picked up a little bit of purple. I think you might put that on top here too, just so that it's not pure white. How's that looking? Not great, but I think you get the idea. Let's try that purple now. Let that one dry. And how about some nice dark blue? Nearly missed this guy. Some yellow. I haven't put any yellow on yet. I love yellow, it's so sunny and happy. And that to blend. A bit of blending. It's funny because I've already completed the page behind and I was worried about getting the page wet on this side. Once it's done, nobody's really going to see it again. Unless I get really famous one day and then someone might pay a fortune for it. Haha, wouldn't that be funny? Might come back to that one too after. Haven't done any black yet either. So different marks. How can we interpretate that? Interpret? Oh, I am getting tired. Now in the middle, let's try and get a little bit tricky. These are nice and quick. Excuse me. My goodness. You might be coming down with something. Aha, it worked. The back of the brush. I just realised I've got two pink and purples next to each other. Never mind. Something I really enjoy about the watercolours is they are actually so easy to just get little shapes down or really random marks sometimes and turn them into something really pretty, especially with flowers. Sometimes it doesn't quite work how you want it to, but sometimes it just does. I'm sorry, I just realised I was, oops, hiding these ones from you. What colour now? What haven't I used yet? The red. Alright, Valentine's Day is coming up soon, so let's have a real burgundy, that one, isn't it? Lovely. Yep. And while we're on the red, let's try for cherries. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial. as much as I've enjoyed painting it. And I'm sorry it's a little bit rushed. I don't even have my proper stand. See, I've got my phone on a jug. So these are the kids' paints that I've been using, and they've been really fun because of the wonderful, wonderful colours that are just so easy without having to get out the tubes. And for just the purpose of these little exercises. And there's our squares full of different marks. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye for now.